Oh, hi, everybody. It's We Are Live. Chris Denman, solo in studio. I'm not solo, but we'll say hello to somebody else in a second. Let's start off today thanking our friends at Tech Electronics for the wonderful work they did for us and got our studio outfitted. If you're looking for a new career in the tech field in St. Louis, hit them up, techelectronics.com. I'm Chris Denman. As I mentioned, I'm at Midcoast Studio in Grand Center in St. Louis, Missouri. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Got a lot to get to today, including tragedy surrounding a Popeye's chicken sandwich that certainly will take up at least 40 minutes of this 2-hour show. We have a very fun guest. Lots to get to, but quick, let's say hello to the executive producer and keeper of the studio, Mr. Chris Gardner.
Good morning, gentleman.
You're looking forward to that gentleman push, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
It's not even honk weather.
No, it's pretty pleasant.
Later in the week, maybe.
Correct. I'm rocking the light jacket that's warmer than you think.
Yeah.
So I'm still functional, but I almost didn't wear it this morning.
It's good pocket weather.
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful pocket weather.
How's the bus?
Not bad.
Yeah?
Yeah.
A little cold for the scooter?
There was almost a fight on the bus yesterday.
I was going to say altercation. And how did that go?
Two ladies.
Oh, ladies.
Yeah. One kind of blew past the other getting off the bus while others were getting on. But the lady who was getting off, she was kind of
Something going on.
in her own world of, she was mad at something. And she was letting that attitude fly. And another girl didn't appreciate it.
Decided
and
to settle
paused for a moment, gave a stare, and then bitch came out. And then I just kind of sat there and waited to see what was going to happen.
Did you see it bubbling?
I could see that the one lady, it wasn't her day.
Okay.
And so I just kind of let her be. She was close to me on the bus, but I'm like, you know what? I've been there. Let her be. But then when it starts infecting others and you let that attitude fly, you're going to have an issue. And there was almost an issue. It settled down pretty quickly, though, because one was getting off, one was getting on. So,
And it was just like, just forget it.
yeah.
Okay.
So, avoided that one. Didn't have to get involved. Not that I would, because I don't want to be involved in anything, really.
And to defend yourself, it's tough to get nude that quickly in a
Yeah,
bus.
because I go Greek style.
Has anyone gotten nude on the bus?
No.
For other reasons?
No. Not that. No. I was thinking. But yeah, that's been the bus adventure lately. Was yesterday.
And when do you bust the scooter back out?
It's tough to tell. I've had it out down here at work. I think my knee is going to be okay carrying it upstairs now. It has been sore lately.
How much does it weigh?
35 pounds.
Okay, gotcha.
The issue
Good
is
thing you don't have kids.
Well, yeah. The issue is just
for many reasons.
Not losing my balance for a moment and then just the weakness in it and then just completely falling over.
And becoming the next viral star.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I did help Sean, my friend Sean, and his wife Kathy. Apparently, they made a random pickup in the alley on Saturday night when I guess they had a few in them. And they had
You guess?
They found a exercise bike in the alley that they stashed in their car, apparently forgetting that they even put it in the car, and asked me to help them move it upstairs. So I helped them move the exercise bike upstairs yesterday, and my knee did okay. So that was a good test.
The three of you, huh?
Yeah, Kathy just kind of watched and yelled at Sean.
Okay. Good.
Sean just kind of yelled at life in general.
Mm-hmm.
And I just kind of chuckled as we brought it up the elevator. So it was fine. And then they put out rugs to put it on, and then that was a whole other argument about which rugs to use, and I just kind of sat back and watched that as well. So I've just watched
Who needs to drink when you have this natural entertainment around you?
I've just watched people's struggles the past couple of days and sat back and observed, and that's been what I've been doing.
Okay.
Yeah. And good morning, Walnuts.
Yeah, there it is. Hey, how are you?
The struggle is real, obviously.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I'm glad you made it through. I mentioned a guest. We'll have Mike Thornton. He'll be performing, I believe it's at the Sheldon, coming up. He's an actor, singer, theater director. It's political parody. it should be a lot of fun.
Yeah,
So
Capital Steps, I believe.
Capital Steps is the
troop
name
is.
of it. Yeah. So I'm excited about that. That's a big undertaking to tour
Mhm.
with that and to be prepared for all that. So they'll be coming to St. Louis. So he'll tell us all about that in the second hour. I'm a little bit. I'm feeling a little sportsy. It's the baseball off season. You got qualifying offers starting, and
Oh,
it's
yeah.
reminding me like, oh man, it is kind of fun whenever things get into free agency and
Yeah, if they actually do it.
if
I'm
they
not
do
even talking about the
anything.
Cardinals. I'm talking about
They're
teams in
not doing
general.
anything. But yeah, teams in general. In a way, though, ownership just got rewarded over and over this year. I mean, in the right in front of your face optics, it looks good that the Nationals won the World Series and didn't have to pony up like the Phillies did for Bryce Harper.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like to them, that's a little victory. Long term, I don't know what that means. Manny Machado's team also didn't make the playoffs. I don't know if they were shooting for that this year.
Yeah.
Kind of
You're
whatever.
in a division with the Dodgers. It's tough.
Right.
Um, so I mean, I'll see what the Cardinals do. I think if they do anything, it comes via trade,
Agreed. They're not doing much.
and that's fine.
Yeah.
But I would like a big name via trade.
You think that'll happen?
Could, yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, they're aware of what their needs are.
I think they'll bring back Wainwright and they'll find a way to bring Ozuna in. I think.
Well, that would be a big deal, though.
Yeah.
I mean, so that's a big move.
Keeping him.
Yeah. I mean,
I think that'll
that's
happen.
significant.
Yeah. We'll see.
I'd like to, if you're going to make a big splash, you have to see what the Red Sox plan on doing and see if Mookie Betts is available.
Do you genuinely think that?
Oh, yeah.
Why would they do that?
Because he's a very good player.
No, why would the Red Sox? I keep seeing this. What's the reasoning for the Red Sox getting rid of him?
Because they might be remaking some of their roster. And so, but the thing is, you don't know necessarily what they're doing yet.
Right.
So that's, and I saw JD Martinez did not opt out, so he's sticking around with them. So I don't know if they consider trading him now since he's sticking around or what exactly they have their plans are. But when you have a new person in charge of the personnel decisions, they're going to remake it how they see fit. And the Red Sox in recent years have been comfortable in kind of going on and off with their roster in terms of, I mean,
Right.
we've seen them go from
They can
last to
shift
first.
pretty quick.
Yeah, so they are not shy about making significant adjustments or dumping people or anything like that in terms of how they've done business over the past decade.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that's why, I mean, you at least ask and check. But there are other options too.
We did we mention Colton Wong's Gold Glove?
We did not.
We did not. Congrats,
did,
a friend of
yeah.
the show, Colton Wong.
I like him a lot
Okay.
as a person.
All right. Me too. Yeah. Good dude.
Him and Jose Martinez. I like those personalities,
Yeah.
along with John Brebbia. Probably the top three. Miles Michaelis right there too. Top four. Oh, that's my Mount Rushmore right there
Okay.
of Cardinals personalities.
No Yachty?
No.
You're not a Yachty guy?
Personality-wise,
You think
absolutely
he's a little
not.
reactionary?
Yeah.
Some say gritty, some say childish.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Not my cup of tea.
I got you.
That's fine. Do as you please. Doesn't mean I have to be around you, though.
Or that you have to put him on your monument carved out of a mountain.
No. Of personalities, I said personalities.
Yeah.
So that's my four probably right there.
Okay. How about real quick some comments and then we'll get back into this.
Mm-hmm.
And Ben Fred wrote that Mike Moustakas would be a fit. Like, what are they going to do with Carpenter? He going to turn into super utility guy?
Oh, you can't count on him.
Nope.
But Tommy Edman is a backup plan for that right now, I would assume.
Yeah.
Who
see
did
what
well in terms of OPS plus, especially in the second half. Now the question is it sustainable? Do you project that to continue?
happens. Right.
I don't know what they see. I'm sure if they don't make a move, they would talk that up.
They certainly would. We believe in Tommy Edman.
So it might depend on what they do as to how they come across publicly and what they say.
True.
Shocker.
Yale Hollanders heard of No Shave November, but not No Trav November.
I texted him.
Yeah.
I'm waiting to hear back. I said, did Oktoberfest take it out of you? No response as of yet.
Morning, William. Tom Brown saw a fist fight outside of a restaurant on South Grand last night. I don't think that a chicken sandwich was involved. I mean, it could have been. Tom, I'm going to need more details on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And was it over food if it's outside of a restaurant?
Was it two comics fighting for their first meal for the week?
Mm-hmm.
That Tom runs a bunch of shows. Was it you get 10 minutes instead of 5 if you knock this dude out?
He was out at the place in O'Fallon recently, too, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to need a review of that. I was out there over the weekend, as I mentioned yesterday.
Their owner, or one of the owners, or the owner, or the guy who runs it, was at Gastropit Thursday night. Came for
Oh.
the show. Yeah, he was a really nice guy. Really nice to meet him. So I'm into that.
I'm going to send my
Entertaining
parents there.
the good folks of O'Fallon.
I'm going to send my parents there.
Well, like you said there's like 80,000 people out there. Like, that's a whole lot of people that don't want to leave their radius on a Friday and Saturday
They do
night.
not, no.
No, I'm not even picking on them. Random white dudes with dreads were the ones fighting. I'd fight another white dude if he was stealing my style. Like, there's only room for one of us modest Yahoo listening.
Yeah.
dudes. Yeah.
It's like there's only room for really one flat cap in a bar, too.
Hmm.
If you get more than one flat capper in, you might have some issues.
You talking on the Caucasian side?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you're going flat cap, sporting flat cap, because we're definitely heading towards flat cap weather. I might have to pull my collection out. I have about 4. A couple of them are a little small on me now. And I haven't done, I did have a steroid shot. But
I thought you were
haven't-
looking swole.
Haven't consistently used steroids in my life, so
Okay.
I don't know why my head might be growing. It could be the hair. Maybe the hair is getting in the way
Of what?
of the hat fitting properly. It's a little tight, and you cannot wear a tight cap. You'll get a headache.
That's true. And actually, I've spoken to?
I like
Spookin'.
Spocken.
Spoken to.
Ooh, after Halloween.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Health professionals, bodyologists, if you will,
Uh-huh.
since we don't have someone here to make up words,
Yeah.
that said that'll ruin your entire setup because it'll press on the nerves, and then all of
Yeah.
a sudden you're done. You
I've
wonder why
had
you feel
that.
like shit all the time.
I've had that before, and like I have to remove the cap immediately if it's like that. You could feel it coming on too, because
Mhm.
it'll get right on your temples, and then
Yeah.
it's just like, oh God, what have I done? You have to take aspirin or whatever you choose to take, and
Or just not wear the hat.
yeah, so the hat comes off, but even it could linger still a little bit afterwards,
Hmm.
and then it just like it'll hurt my eyes.
And then what happens if you have to help your friend who drunkenly found an exercise bike in an alley?
Yeah. What? Oof. It wasn't as heavy as I thought. It is a nice bike, though. It is a good pickup. So it's obvious they live on Maryland, which has some rich folk in there.
Okay.
Um,
So it could be, like, I think it was Peloton.
it's not a Peloton, but it is definitely in working shape, and it even has the you hold it and it tells you your pulse, and it's all digital screen and everything, and it works fine. There's no hitches with it. It's just somebody probably is just like, we're done with this,
Right.
but can afford to do so,
Okay.
and so Sean likes to dumpster dive,
That really worries me about
and I've
that.
gone with him before.
Yeah.
When he used to have the old Malibu, that was fun because we would just drive the old Malibu. He'd have like Kitty HX playing and blasting, and we just go dumpster diving.
That's just odd. That's strange.
Yeah, it is.
It is. I agree. Other comments. Did Denman just say he wants to fight Magnum PI? I don't want to fight anybody.
For taking your look.
Hmm.
When you wear your certain shirts and your
Oh. I would
mustache
argue.
a certain way.
I would argue, despite my probably being dressed in a Hawaiian shirt at some point in the mid '80s,
Mhm.
I would argue I may have jocked his style through another TV show. So that's something that happens.
So does Tom Selleck have to fight you?
Yeah, he
My
does.
mom will root for Tom Selleck because he's in Blue Bloods.
Most would.
My dad, I found out, refers to Mark Harmon as my mother's boyfriend now.
I saw your dad, and I've seen his handiwork.
Yeah,
I'd be careful.
yeah.
Might make a wooden guillotine.
He was complaining about how he's seen every episode of NCIS now, and it bothers him because there's marathons on all the time. He's like, your mother won't stop watching the damn show, It's either that or Hallmark Channel. He's like, turn it on Hallmark. I could probably do word for word what's going on the screen right now.
That's hilarious. Your dad. We need to get your dad a phone or an iPad so he can go into his own world.
He does that sometimes.
He can watch like
It's
woodworking
called slot machines.
woodworking videos. Oh, okay. Well, that'll do it.
That's why he goes to my brother's cabin at Mark Twain Lake to get
have
away
his own
from all
time.
of us.
Got it. Tom Brown says, sorry, those are all the details I have on the fight. My reaction to two dudes fighting is, hey, two guys are fighting. This pasta sure is good.
Pasta on Grand.
Manja.
That's my guess. That's my guess. Unless
I wanna call out-
unless you've gone with a Thai dish. But normally you would say a noodle in that regard.
That's true. You got to know that. I wanted to call out. I wanted to shame a place on Grand that's a certain type of restaurant, and they're trying to look kitschy, but they just suck. But their pricing is like expensive.
Uh-huh.
Like they're trying to look like, hey, look, it's like a vintagey, fun place, but then it's like super weird menu, like trying to be hipster,
Yeah.
but price it like. Truly vintage things shouldn't be too, right? It should be like, oh, you can get, it's cheap or whatever, right? They're trying to be cool. They're trying to look crappy, but their prices don't reflect that.
Oh, one of those.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to even give them the love.
It looks like it's bothering you.
It is bothering me. I'm like, what is happening here?
We'll discuss off air.
Okay, good. Oh, we didn't discuss what we were supposed to do off air yesterday.
I
What
know.
was that? What was
I
the
don't-
topic?
It's this love. It's not even a triangle. It's more than that going on in my parents' neighborhood.
That's right. I need to know about that.
I don't know. I kind of want to talk about it on the air, but it's hard to even explain and follow along with.
Do you want to try?
And the other thing is, I don't know if I should talk about these people or not.
Yeah.
Let me think still. I mean, it is convoluted. It's brothers, sisters, ex-wives.
Is the affair
twins? There's a lot going in. I finally understood it. Like my mom told me. It took a second for me to follow along, so it took me a number of times to finally respond to her properly with what was going on, and she's like, "That's it," and I'm like, "Oh my God, what is going on here? What do you have going here in your subdivision now? What's going on in these duplexes?"
Are the suburban cheating
There's no
crazy
cheating.
story? Okay.
But it's
Are the suburban
relation-
sex stories worse because you're just like, thought you people were boring, and then you find out they're doing this crazy trapeze act of sexual exploits?
I don't.
You know what I mean? Because
yeah.
you hear suburban, this, that, the other, and you're like, what? Is it because the look they try and put out?
Maybe, but there's
Are we
different
picking on 'em?
parts. There's different parts of O'Fallon. There is new O'Fallon, there is old O'Fallon. There are different, and they will meet at one place. You go to Ethel's, and that's where new O'Fallon meets old O'Fallon. At least that's where it used to be.
Okay.
Like I could have gone back home and gone up there on any random night, and it could almost turn into a high school reunion.
Sure.
But there is, south of 70 and north of 70. And a lot of the development, well, there's more development now south of 70 down Highway P and such for those that know the area. And it continues to move out west, obviously with what we see in Wentzville. But a lot of the development in O'Fallon came north of 70. And that's where Winghaven and all that is, and so that's where the new money is. But
Triangle
new money
Assassin
does
reminds
meet
us
old
it's
money.
called Swing Haven.
It is. That's what I've heard.
That's real, right?
I've known some people that. I know someone who just moved out of Winghaven, actually.
Swing Haven.
Swinghaven.
Does that really happen there, or was that just a thing?
No,
from
it does
TMA?
happen. Yeah, it does happen. I don't know the frequency, but once again, what I grew up in and what it is now are not the same thing.
Gotcha.
It is not. There aren't woods for me to find trouble in.
Old porn in plastic bags. Is that what you mean by trouble in the woods?
No, like fires.
Oh.
Starting fires.
I forget who we're dealing
Yeah,
with
I'm
here.
a fire starter.
Got it.
Well, I assisted fire starters, I should say. I didn't drop the match that got the arson record, so I don't put it on me completely.
You
I
just
was
listened
only-
to Prodigy.
I
too
was
much.
a accessory. I tried to put the fire out myself, and that was a mistake because then it circled me and I had to jump over it.
And can't imagine you were that great of a jumper.
No, and then I just ran home and listened as the fire trucks were coming
Crackle.
and laid on the couch sweating, wondering if anyone was going to die from what we have done.
Did they?
No.
Okay.
We only burned an acre and a half of woods.
Sadly, a man did die for a chicken sandwich.
Of course.
I actually don't want to talk about this because this would just be an easy win next week for Great American Race, especially after Travis sent a taunting text yesterday
Yeah.
or 2 days ago bragging that there was a story that Caucasians already messed up and Travis is going to win. And then here comes the Popeyes dispute. So fights have erupted. We've seen this all over the place, right? Prince George's County, Maryland, Monday night. Involved in an altercation. Someone cut in front of him, or he cut in front of someone else. Sorry to say cut so much in this situation.
Mhm.
Started fighting, ended up outside the chicken place. 28-year-old man stabbed, dies later at the hospital. And then there's another video above, not of that. There is a video of another fight in Maryland where people are just going wild.
Now I'm wondering, now with this one, we know a little bit of the detail. And it's the headline and such will obviously revolve around the chicken sandwich, but also more so it seems revolves around etiquette of lines.
hmm
Of like if you're going to cut in line, I don't know how, obviously this should not have happened in this way. Yeah. But I think did you see something like this coming eventually? When you start a craze, do you expect this to be a conclusion at some point?
This is the classic you wish for the genie. You wish for $1 million. The genie grants it, and you find out your favorite uncle died and left you an insurance settlement for $1 million.
Uh-huh.
But you caused him to die by doing that.
Yeah.
You want the best chicken sandwich man has ever made? These are the consequences.
It's just
No free meals in nature. And that applies. That literally applies here. There's always a reaction, isn't there?
yeah, and I guess I expected this at some point is the thing, which I don't know what that says, because this is quite unfortunate, and especially.
Oh, this is horrible. Like, it sucks somebody died and everything, but it's so ridiculous.
I would like to know.
Sadly, it adds to the lore.
It does. It adds to myth. Absolutely.
Right. Oh, I thought you said no, it doesn't.
Absolutely.
I was like, what?
No, it most certainly adds to myth. But we create these things ourselves.
Chickens are over here like, you're sad about one dude dying?
Yeah.
Do you know how many of us
Have
are
you
dying
seen
for
us?
this? Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just, ugh. I saw it last night. This thing pop up on my Twitter.
It's sliced into your feed.
Oh, I only do those for OJ jokes.
That's fair.
I only find that.
I see that what'll happen is this will get played back on hard copy, or shout out to Lisa Guerrero. This will get played back on
Inside
something.
Edition.
Inside Edition. Hard copy was in the 90s, right?
Still a good show.
This will get played back because I was getting gas at Quick Trip, and I tripped and knocked a taquito into someone, and then they stomp my head, and I perish, and then I say I died. And it's the spin is man killed over taquito incident.
Right. Right, because what's going to grab a headline?
Correct.
Like, really, what this is about is line etiquette. And just, hey.
Do you
let's
practice line
maintain-
etiquette on the bus?
Yeah.
Okay.
I normally let everyone go right now, in particular, because it might take me a second to take a step up with my knee.
So you're still milking that.
Well, no, I'm slow.
That's
So-
tough for a guy that had such great lateral movement.
I am surprisingly quick and agile.
Okay.
It is surprising.
Okay.
You-
Surprising where you're like, oh, that roach made it across the floor with
Like,
3 legs.
when I would run bases in slow pitch recreational league softball, the lowest form of sport.
Like you would, say you hit a drooping single left fielder comes up on it, but he kind of moseys up to it because he sees it's you, and he's confident he's going to field it. and then it's still going, and he's rounding first.
Yeah, I could take
so
second.
he kind of.
And no slide.
I got you.
My rule was I don't slide in softball.
I slid, and you get called out more than not because the ump's annoyed that you're sliding.
Yeah, I'm not sliding.
Like I would do it. I would like juke people out, be safe, and I'm like, I was very obviously safe. Out.
Yeah. Don't slide.
Taught me a lesson.
Yeah.
Stop trying.
If you got me, you got me. If I
Yeah.
can't make it standing up, then that's on me. I could go first to third on a single. And it would always surprise because then we didn't think you could do that. They go, you look pretty good doing it too. I go, yeah. It's not, once I get going, it's just hard to stop.
Right. A
Which
lot
is
of
why
momentum.
why sliding would probably benefit me because it would slow me down in a way that. But I'm like, no, because there's a possibility I might not get up. All it takes is one bad slide, and
Right, and it's all
I don't
over.
need that right now.
You end up almost losing your leg and getting cellulitis and being out for 6 days.
I've heard that. I've heard about
Bit
that.
of a problem.
Yes.
Your leg doesn't appreciate gravel and dirt being buried into
And
it.
I embarrassed myself enough getting injured playing that sport
Yeah.
that I wasn't about to add to it,
Mm-mm.
and that would only add to the possibilities. And it is the lowest form of sport. There is no
certainly is.
doubt.
Yeah, I agree.
I have friends that will argue that point, and I think they make my point for me when they argue it, and so I just let them go.
Triangle Assassin always slides and tells himself not to.
No, don't.
Yeah.
Just don't slide. It's not a good idea. It's
Hit it further.
slow pitch recreational league softball.
What's the
Dude.
worst sport to get into a fight in?
Slow pitch recreational league softball. And it has been close before with people I've played with. And I told them I would not cover for them. I would not have their back.
Yeah. That firefighter's going to drop an elbow on you, and I'm not going to be there
He
for
was
you.
with the church group once.
The church group's
Now,
fighting.
the guy who was starting it is a bit of an atheist. So maybe that was what was bothering him. Maybe it was just rubbing him the
Right.
wrong way.
It's like,
But
yeah.
I'm like, come on. I'm like, no, I am not calling my mother and letting her know that she has to come pick me up out of city jail because we got
Because-
into a fight in a slow pitch recreational league softball game. I said I will pick my stuff up and just walk away as you guys are fighting.
Because the Third Church of Christ got into it with the
Yeah.
local volunteer
Go
fire
find
department.
some other way to get your toxic masculinity out.
Oh, is that what it is?
That's what Travis would say.
That makes sense. I want to remind everybody St. Louis Counseling Services supports us, so you need to support them. You can give donations. You can recommend folks to head over there if they're looking for counseling help at stlouiscounseling.org. Online, they've been improving lives in the St. Louis area since 1955. They also record a podcast right here at the studio. I recommend you check it out on their website. There's all kinds of good information along with the podcast that goes there, stlouiscounseling.org online. If you have any kind of decision-making power at a school, if you're an individual or even a business looking to implement a counseling program, hit me up, hit Tom Duff up, whatever works. We can make that happen. They support us. You support them. So back to the chicken.
Mm-hmm.
Will we see more of this? I say
there's
yes.
no food worth dying over. I enjoy food quite a bit.
Right.
So I mean, you're going to have to, we have fun with the craze that it is, and that's what it should be. But people get impatient. And I need more details on this to know exactly. We have a little bit of it, but to see it end like this is, like you said, just so ridiculous that I need to know more about what happened in the line, I guess.
Yeah, and that's the thing. This is why things can escalate super fast, right? It's like some people aren't going to wait for you to tag each other a few times. They're going to neutralize the situation as quick as possible because that's all they know.
And look, the Popeyes chicken ain't that good for this.
Is there a food you would die for?
No, there's nothing. There's no food.
Okay.
Unless I was
You've been
like in a
told-
desert searching for food and haven't eaten in a week, that's a different situation though. This is readily available.
I was going to say I would guess that you're both going to get the sandwich. It just became a pissing match.
Yeah. And so that's why I need more details, like who died actually. Is it the guy who cut in line or the guy who was trying to avoid having someone cut in line? Exactly what's going on here.
Do you?
And I don't know what you're thinking trying to cut in line when there's something like this going on.
Do you
You know, you
If-
shouldn't expect to die if that's the case. But I don't know who's who in this as of yet.
If the line cutter / we'll say agitator or aggressor
Did you say slash on purpose? Mm-mm.
is in fact the individual who perished
Yeah.
from the stab wound,
No. He doesn't deserve that demise. No one does. And
how many people has that guy cut off in traffic?
so I need to know more about his life in general.
What led to this event?
Maybe.
What if he said he'll take a chicken sandwich and shove it up your...
Okay. I'm going strictly off the event itself without knowing any other details of the man's life. So I'm going to keep it there.
Alleged stabbers on the loose. Which does not bode well. Because if you defended yourself with a knife, you're going to stand there and be like, hey, here's what happened, right? Typically. They
I was
have
just
not
thinking
caught
about
the...
something cut in line and
Yeah.
yeah.
They have not caught the Popeyes plunger.
Now they don't have. Did they have a description? I don't know that they got a good description from what I had read in the story.
I'll suss it out. We'll have full details on ethnicity and
Well,
everything.
but that's only part of it. Like
Just for
I'm
the
talking
segment
about
sake.
whatever they're wearing and stuff like that
Right.
too.
We watched a guy slide back to the softball. Oh, here, real quick. We watched a guy slide headfirst in a third base several years ago. His feet came up over his head and nearly touched the ground. He dislocated and broke his hip.
Oh my god!
Ended up in surgery and have it replaced. That's horrible. Black Sheep slides.
Oh my
That's
god!
horrific. Triangle Assassin.
His feet. Where? Okay, what park was this? So I know.
Yeah, I need to know.
So I can advise people about the dirt at this park.
Mm-hmm.
That. So his feet came up over. So he dislocated and his legs just came up. So he must have had a dead stop or something at some point. Was he a bad slider?
Apparently.
For you to dislocate your hip sliding, look, there's probably other issues there as well, but it has to be a pretty bad slide. I mean, there should be a no slide rule in softball.
Mm-hmm.
No sliding at all.
I agree. It's like, guys, we're not part of this.
And if you need to have a collision with the catcher, then you probably shouldn't be playing. Go elsewhere.
There it is. The Black Sheep slides
Why? No.
down the bench to get to the nearest cooler.
Okay. Now that's fair. You ever tried hitting a softball while you're completely tanked? It's embarrassing.
I
fell down once.
Yeah, that's
I
bad.
fell down swinging the bat because I was so drunk playing. I shouldn't have even been playing. I couldn't field.
I never got that way because I would just I would either want to be competitive or drunk. I'm like, I don't need 3 beers while I'm playing this.
See, I wasn't drinking beer that day. It was
Yeah.
a Sunday, and I started at 10 a.m.
Okay.
with a buddy of mine. We were both blitzed trying to play softball at night. We started at 10, we
That's
played
rough.
at 6, and we didn't stop.
Sounds like a good way to snap an ankle too.
Yeah, I mean, we were falling down.
This was in Fireman's Park in Winsville. They don't use it for slow pitch
Okay.
anymore. They built a new set of parks, and yes, this guy looked like he'd never played before.
Oh.
So he was in the mix. He was feeling the flow.
Okay, here's advice. If you've never played, don't slide. And actually, don't slide at all. That should be the rule.
Have you seen a horrific softball injury?
Yeah. I mean, I've seen someone dislocate their shoulder. It didn't look pretty because I saw them when they got up. I was right next to them and saw the shoulder and all that.
Right.
I've had some. I got a concussion the one time. It was embarrassing.
Oof.
I didn't witness it though, but I couldn't stand up. I looked like I was drunk again.
Right.
I had my pants come off.
Snappy Bigman. Cheers to you.
Oh,
You had your pants come off?
yeah, going over the fence.
One of our
My pants caught on the pole, and I almost robbed a home run. But when I landed on the other side of the fence, the ball rolled out of my glove, and my pants caught on the pole, and it ripped my pants off, and so I was laying there with no pants on, and the ball rolled out, and so it was a home run.
So I think I've told it on the show before, but back whenever it was like a crazy, it became a thing. Softball injuries on Deadspin. Our de facto pitcher on our bad team in the Columbia Beer League was a guy who that was kind of the only place he could really he could really do much.
Yeah.
He took a comebacker to the face, and it was horrific.
Yeah,
And it was
and
for
those
bad.
have a sound too.
Yeah, it's like a reinforced watermelon getting smashed.
Now I've seen the guys wear the mask that
I think
pitch.
that's smart. I think it's incredibly smart because if you see that happen, if you see one dong right off, it's bad news.
Yeah, somebody like, well, what are you doing? You're playing slow pitch. Well, look, I'm just tossing a ball there, and I'm
Trying
defenseless.
not to die.
Yeah. So I completely understand it.
Mm-hmm.
So you're right. It is smart, and I would recommend it. I mean, these aren't the best athletes in the world. Your reflexes aren't the best.
Tom Brown.
You might think you are, but you have to remind
I was
yourself
gonna say
that you're not.
we were not very good, and I wasn't athletic enough to really get upset about the softball situation. But you know, you have some good times and everything. But then when you start looking at it, you're like, almost get into fights,
Yeah.
suffer horrific injuries. Maybe you'll hit a home run here and there. Maybe you'll hit some fun balls. Maybe you'll even make a nice catch. Is it worth it?
When the Central West End team that has had different bars sponsor it over time,
Mm-hmm.
34 Club being the first, rest in peace. They were not good at all, and
Is it more fun to be on a horrible team?
it's kind of fun
Okay.
because you have people like from Scotland on the team that bat with their hands crossed, like not normal,
Okay.
like a cross-handed putter would. So they have no power at all. They're just looking to make contact and run. But a guy from Scotland like that, a gentleman from India who ran the wrong way. So that team's kind of fun.
So that's how that. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
The gentleman from India, I think, was even looking for one off the ground. He like a little bit of cricket there going on. So we had a guy from India and a guy from Scotland on the original team that did not know what they were doing,
That's like
and they didn't slide.
That's like Island of Broken Toys
Oh.
Disney style movie.
It was.
Right?
If only we could have had Sean on that team, it would have been something.
Yale Hollander believes Travis was involved in the stabbing. That's why he's not here.
That's fair.
One way or the other. Okay, here we go. Let's more softball love from Triangle Assassin.
I don't. If you're the person who died here,
Man, your mom's gonna be like,
you gotta live with this headline.
no, the headline.
Oh, you
sticks.
don't get to live with it.
It sticks.
Yeah.
Playing in a
That's,
snow.
that's terrible.
It's
Like
very
I don't
bad.
want. For me, I would be okay with that. To have
Yours would be
Travis would be okay with this.
yours would be a conspiracy. You would be like, yes, it was the chicken sandwich stabbing, when really you had uncovered something about the Anunnaki,
Uh-huh.
and you knew it, and the guy looked you in the eye and he said, "Was it worth it to find this form?" And you said, "Bring it. I've been waiting."
Yeah,
Sweet release.
chicken shit.
Playing in a snowball tournament, ground was frozen. Ball was thrown from the outfield to second base. Ball hit a frozen footstep in the infield, shot off target, hit my buddy right above the eye. Ended up with around 20 stitches right above his eye.
God.
That sucks.
I've gotten
That's
a
a
black
tough one.
eye from a ball. Our left fielder threw really hard, and the ball
Sounds familiar.
hit the lip of the. I was at second waiting for the ball, and it hit the lip of the infield dirt in the grass, so it kind of skipped on me in a weird way and right into the eye. Right into the eye. Had my glasses on. It didn't cut me or anything, but black eye like pretty quick. But that's about. I mean, the concussion was embarrassing. It did hurt pretty bad though.
I got a concussion playing football, organized football. That's a little more valiant.
Yeah.
Slightly more.
I took a shoulder to the chin. Now, it did make me think my jaw was broken
Yeah,
because my chin felt like it was on the right side of my face,
that'll do
but
it.
it was just the from getting just shouldered in the mouth.
Right.
The left side of my jaw muscles were apparently just completely fucked up for a little while. Like the jolt, like my bottom lip came up over my teeth, and I had a cut down here from. It was a mess. I was bleeding, and I couldn't walk or stand up, and didn't know where I was for a minute, and then tried to throw the ball in still,
Oh,
and then
no.
just fell
You're
back down on
You're
the
the
ground.
fighter that goes after the ref's
It's
leg
because my
for a
teammates
single
were
leg
yelling,
when it
"Throw it in!" He didn't tag up because the ball ended up in my glove still. Somehow the ball stayed in my glove.
That's pretty amazing.
Like it was nothing I did. My glove flew off me. It just stayed in the glove when I went down.
Does Chick-fil-A
embarrassing.
cater the funeral?
That's some good pub. That's not actually.
Tom Brown with a counter to the black sheep.
Damn
No-
it.
Tom Brown letting know the black sheep, not if it's on a Sunday.
Okay. So if the funeral's not on a Sunday, if you're
Chick-fil-A,
Chick-fil-A, you move
step
in
up.
on this.
Step up.
Yeah.
Be like, our chicken, honor thy neighbor.
Actually,
And honor thy neighbor and our chicken.
this is where. Okay. I've had a little time to think about this now. But this is how Chick-fil-A separates itself from Popeyes, not just
The
based
non-stabbing?
on the chicken or the taste of the sandwich itself, but we've often talked about how efficient Chick-fil-A is about getting people in and out
Mm-hmm.
in an orderly fashion to just keep that turnover going.
Okay.
Well, even if there's a crowd, you're comfortable going into Chick-fil-A. Why? Because you know it's going to be quick and efficient,
Sure.
and it's going to get done. Popeyes basically needs to employ Chick-fil-A. They need to go find former Chick-fil-A workers and employ them, or managers to employ whatever strategy and training that Chick-fil-A uses to quell the lines and issues they're having at their own restaurants.
Get a
like
rogue,
you can
get
brag
a rogue
about
Chick-fil-A employee.
like Popeyes is bragging about having the long lines and how long people are waiting to get sandwiches. Chick-fil-A always has a crowd of people, but they're not bragging about how long it takes because it doesn't take as long. They have an efficient and orderly manner in which to do so. Popeyes, as much as they want to mock Chick-fil-A right now, and I am not, look,
could
I'm
use
not
some
a fan of
logistical
Chick-fil-A politics by any means or any of that sort, but I can appreciate how they do business in an efficient way in terms of getting people in and out. But Popeyes was, hey, we're trolling here. We're going to open it on a Sunday. We're going to do this, or we're going to bring the chicken sandwich back on a Sunday, and in a mocking way. Yet, however, they might have revealed themselves not to be ready. And the people that have the recipe is their rival, is their competitor. All along, they have the recipe to get people in and out in an orderly fashion. Popeyes doesn't.
It's true.
That is the recipe they're lacking.
We need to look into that. Yale Hollander reminding me, hey, Chris, I think you mean honor thy straight neighbor. That's how it goes. I want to remind everybody we've got Happiest Hour every Thursday right here in the .Zac building, 3224 Locust. That is no different this week, 6 o'clock start. Our friend Molly Ambergy is going to host it this week. Molly's great. She's doing her podcast here now, Casually Molly. Jimmy Day, Aaron Brooks in from Los Angeles. He's a headliner. And as well as Jay Light is headlining. He's from Los Angeles. You've seen him on Comedy Central. He's done Roast Battle on there. Very funny individual from the East Coast who's currently in Los Angeles working at the Comedy Store. So you get two headliners, two great St. Louis comics, and it's free. You get Jack Daniels specials as well as Schlafly specials. That's Happiest Hour. Come out, have some fun, 6 o'clock if you're in the Grand Center area, and enjoy yourself. That's right. Happiest Hour every Thursday. It's part of the Mid-Coast Comedy Series right here in St. Louis.
Molly's got a catchy theme song.
Does she?
Yeah.
That's exciting. You want to play it?
It's
If you
I'm
haven't.
gonna try and find it here. Hold on. a
Yeah,
second.
try and find it. I'll.
It's basic, but it makes me smile.
That's
It makes me smile.
Molly would describe herself as that.
And I can appreciate that. Don't get too complicated. People like that anyway.
I'm telling you, a good theme song. It's where it's at.
Are you
Shout
ready?
out to Casey Reeves.
All right. I think I
Casually
have
Molly podcast. Let's hear it.
it. Oh wait, hold on. This is the no vocal one. I got the wrong
Oh,
one.
this is the outro for the
Yeah.
Casually Molly podcast.
Okay, so let me fade this one out here. I'm going to fade that one out and grab the other one here. There we go. Now we're rolling. 1 second here, and here you go.
Have you ever wanted to get your shit together? Scrap it, look through the lens and capture it. But first world problems are getting you down. Disabled, salty, needing a laugh to fix that frown. Well, you can do all those things and so much more. Just grab a seat in the chair or the floor. Sit back, relax, recline. Well, she drops another casual line. You're tuned into Casually Molly with Molly and Bergie.
That's it.
I appreciate that.
It's catchy. It's simple.
Shout out to the folks who made Molly's song.
Molly.
So
with
Casually Molly, wherever you get your
and
podcast.
Bergie. I was singing it yesterday. That ending part to it. Molly, that's the part that gets me. I like the way it concludes.
I think she would appreciate that. Yeah, she had on Jimmy Day and who else did she have on? Andy Hamilton. There you go. This past weekend. So she'll be recording here. So big shout out to her and the growth of her podcast.
I wanted to mention something real quick.
Hmm.
College Hoops starts tonight.
Officially, huh?
I am ready. I'm going to go to the Billikens game tonight.
Are you?
Yeah.
Who are they playing?
Florida Gulf Coast.
Dunk City?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not sure they're the same they were, but
They lost their coach immediately to
Uh,
USC.
yeah.
Yeah. Is that guy still at USC?
yeah,
Oh, he is?
yeah.
Has he been successful?
He's been okay.
Well, if he hasn't gotten fired, that's
Yeah, he's been
successful
all
in a
right.
big school.
He beat
Isn't it funny USC
Andy
private too?
Infield, I believe it is. Andy
Okay.
Infield. And then
Florida
I can't
Gulf
remember his
Coast.
wife's name. His wife became popular during that time too.
Oh, she did.
Yeah.
Why?
She's attractive.
Okay, that'll do it.
Yeah. And they're like, how the hell did this guy pull this? And they're like, well, he used to be in the financial field and did pretty well for himself and then went into college coaching.
Really?
Yeah. So he had a different path.
Okay, that's really interesting.
So he's done all right for himself. But that's the Billikens are at home at Chaffetz tonight. I'm going to go over there. I will do as I normally do. First game, home game of the season. I find out when the Red Panda game is. So I'll tweet out that information tonight. That will be the big thing I'm looking for. And plus, I want to see this Billiken squad. And because my decision is tough, I'm going to have to get control of a television in the media room. They're going to have to give it to me because it's the Champions Classic tonight as well, which is at 6 o'clock. Kansas and Duke plays to really get things going. And then right after that, Michigan State and Kentucky play at Madison. Everything's taking place at Madison Square Garden. So I'm going to need to at least see part of this Kansas-Duke game. And I'd like to see the early portion because I'll be out watching the Billikens around 7 or so. So they're going to have to give me control of a television here at least so I can watch some of the KU game. Normally I would be at my local watering hole for this night.
Of course you would.
Because it is great that they have these four teams just rotating and playing each other. And Kansas might end up playing Michigan State in the Maui as well. So they could play the number 4 team in Duke and the number 1 team in Michigan State here in a matter of weeks, which is why I love college hoops as well.
Think they come out of it unscathed?
Don't know. Tough to tell with this team right now. They need to be better on the perimeter. I'm sure everyone's appreciating my breakdown of the Kansas backcourt right now.
Of course. I was curious what your thoughts were.
Yeah. They're better on the perimeter this year in terms of hitting the long ball. The rest of the country is in trouble.
Then it works
A
out.
lot of trouble.
How will Kansas come out of this first 2 weeks?
I'll say with 1 loss. 1 loss.
Okay. And where will that put him? Put them? Still top 10?
Yeah. Because it'll probably be to a top program.
That'll happen. We did just get word our guest in the 9 o'clock hour is sick so we're going to reschedule with him. So it'll be Chris Denman,
Oh,
Chris
so-
Gardner.
I was actually looking him up,
Mhm.
and I think this is the gentleman that I ran into over a month ago out back of my local watering hole. We sat and chatted for just a bit.
That's really funny.
I looked up info and pictures and stuff, and I'm like, I think this is the guy.
Yeah.
And so I look forward to, I think I've met him before, and just at the neighborhood bar that I don't drink at.
Mike Thornton. We'll
Yeah.
get him on. We'll reschedule. They're already
Because he
working
was
on a
telling me about
reschedule.
why he was in town and what was going on, and I was like, oh, that sounds interesting. And he's like, yeah, it's just. So I'm spending a couple days here getting this done. Been over to Sheldon, and I'm like, I've only seen one concert there, and I like it. And they also have, and he like stopped me in my tracks. Even he goes, they have perfect acoustics. I go, yes. I mean, there aren't many places in the
We've
world
heard Karen Choi talk about that.
that have perfect acoustics
Yeah.
like this room does. And I'll tell you what, if Arturo Sandoval, the famous trumpeter, I'm sure everyone knows, ever comes through here again and plays at the Sheldon, you should go. It will move you to tears how good he is and in that room. It is just stunning. His story as well, a Cuban refugee.
That's
Oh,
amazing.
love that guy. Man, we've been all over the place this first hour.
I'm enjoying it. It's Chris Denman, Chris Gardner. We'll take a break. get some
College
info.
hoops, chicken sandwich murders, bus fights,
Uh-huh.
dreadlock fights,
Our team being so bad in softball that
softball
this was your
etiquette.
number 3 hitter.
Don't slide. Don't slide. We need to come up with a line of slow pitch recreational league softball T-shirts.
We do. I remember thinking at the time, like, I'm so out of shape. I was jacked. When I think about it now, I'm like, no, I was 220 and doing fine.
I remember I took golf lessons from my health teacher actually in high school, Coach Hull,
Uh-huh.
and he had a bit of a belly on him. And like some of the lessons were basically, we would go out and play, like me and another guy, and then he would pop in every once in a while. Like he's like, all right, I'm gonna show you a shot. And, hey Gardner, hold my cigar. And so like I'm like 14 holding his cigar, and then he would
Hoping your dare officer doesn't
Dude.
walk by.
do the shot. Yeah, Officer Tiny, and do the shot, and he would show us to us. But like part of it was me holding the cigar. But the guy, he was like, yeah, I used to be in shape in this, and he would always tell us this in health, like, hey, it'll happen to you someday. And I'm like, this is never going to happen to me.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit, was he right?
I think about this all the time. Open gyms were pretty
We
serious.
used to laugh at him when he
Laugh.
would say that.
Open gyms were real serious.
I'm like, I eat all the food I can now, and I can't gain weight. How is that going to happen to me?
Right.
You'll see.
High school varsity, Farmington's open gyms were real serious. They were supposed to be open to the public.
Mm-hmm.
There was a varsity coach there. It was scrimmaging. It was fives full court, but you would get yelled at if you were lollygagging. There's no playing horse, no whatever. You went and you ran 5-on-5 for 2 hours straight. Random people could show up, but it was
Frowned upon?
no, but it was a coach regulated open gym.
That doesn't sound like an open gym at all.
You would shoot for teams.
That does not. That is not an open gym. What you're describing.
And I'll never forget, there's dudes dunking, people beating the shit out of each other, like getting, real serious.
It's like the bus.
It was quite
Almost.
quite like the bus. And I remember, just joking at one point, just being like, "You tired?" He's like, "Of course I'm tired." And I was like, "Why? Yeah, what? Come on, you're just shooting threes." He's like, "Call me when you're 40
Mm-hmm.
and see if you can come play with varsity basketball players.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to see it."
You should go do
35
that
and
now.
I cannot.
Let's take you to Murphy Settlement and
I
have
will
you
not.
go scrimmage.
They're good too. They're big. They're
We
good.
want you to go scrimmage with Murphy Settlement. Are they the Knights or Golden Knights?
Black Knights.
Black Knights. Okay.
Hmm.
Couldn't remember.
Yeah.
Travis
just
find
think
that
about
offensive.
Probably. I think about that all the time though. I was like, he did pretty well. He was a good person to have on your team.
Yeah.
I think he played in college. But he was a good person to have on your team, but he was quite a bit older and we're varsity basketball players. And he could hang, and he definitely let us know. He's like, you are.
I did not believe my health teacher.
Mm-mm.
Maybe it's because my health teacher had me hold his cigar on the golf course.
Again,
So maybe I
contributing
didn't.
factor.
I didn't feel his credibility was there, even though he was right. Maybe he presented it in a way that allowed doubt to creep into my mind. So I don't blame myself. I blame him for allowing that to happen to me.
That's fair. We do have suggestions. Yale said, and just like that, Jazz Talk with Gardner and Hollander was born. Book the studio, gents.
Oh,
And Triangle Assassin.
I used to produce for Don Wolf when he had the jazz show at KMOX.
How'd that go?
Okay.
Yeah, it was fine. You could only talk so much jazz, right?
Well, he would play music and.
No, that'd be good.
We dance
Quips.
around the studio. I dance
Okay.
with his law firm represented me at one point. I needed some help, so he was kind enough to help me out in
He's
that
a
regard.
guy
Yeah.
who's really into jazz, who liked to tell people he had a jazz radio show.
Yeah,
Right.
and he was a fantastic lawyer.
Yeah.
For
Cool.
a period of time.
That's a cool thing. And on
Um,
Camo X. That's impressive.
There is one memory of him that sticks out, and I think I've told it before, but when I think of him, this does stick out to me. But it was the week I was working when Jack Buck and Daryl Kyle passed away, and it was that Saturday night. I guess it would have been June 18th. I believe is the date that Jack passed away. And the jazz show was still on, even though we were going no commercials, breaking news, everything was happening, just trying to keep it all in order. But it got to be jazz show time, and they're like, well, let's have the jazz show go. That'll be fine, programming for now. The music kicks in. I'm with my friend Mike Grimm, who's a sports reporter there at the time, now the voice of the Minnesota Gophers in basketball and football. And where you hear the speaker at the elevator, the music's going for the opening of the jazz show. And Don opens the show, and then it starts going, and it says, fortunately, we lost Daryl Kyle and Jack Buck this week. We'll have tributes to them later in the program and their passing. But we still got jazz.
Oh, my.
And Mike and I just started losing it laughing.
Yeah.
We're like, we kind of needed this laugh at this
yeah,
moment.
it's kind of an.
But when I think of Don and the jazz show, I think of that moment because it made me laugh really hard on a difficult day of working. But we still got jazz, and we still do, with Hollander and Gardner talking jazz.
Each Sunday morning at 6 a.m.
And then followed by Travis's Sunday service.
That's right. 6 hours of Travis speaking the gospel. Right here. It'll be
Whatever
like
that
the old
might-
station.
Well, let's see how he interprets it.
Okay.
I'm sure his interpretations of the gospel are a little different than a more of a traditional sense, I guess.
All right. I'm excited about that. We'll take a break. It's Chris Denman and Chris Gardner. We'll be back on the other side. It's We Are Live. Be right back. Welcome back to the show. It's We Are Live. Excited to be here. Joined by Travis Farrell in studio. We got Chris Gardner. Hawkvember.
It's not even hawk weather yet.
I have a safety tip when you have
Where's he
on
going with this?
a safe, if you have a space heater, you should probably turn it off before bed.
I leave mine on.
Okay, well,
That's your privilege.
that
Is that white privilege?
yeah, then you probably
Use it.
also, you don't live too far from the fire department, do you?
No, Vandeventer and Forest Park Parkway.
It's pretty close.
Yeah, not too bad.
Not bad. I, on the other hand, terrible, terrible safety protocol, I guess you can say, when it comes to space heaters, because they can pop your circuits because of the electricity that apparently pumps through those bad boys.
My apartment building must be built well then.
That probably could be the case. Makes sense.
Because I've never really had an issue.
Yeah, apparently they can it gets so much voltage that they can pop a breaker.
Well, were you warm at least?
I thought I was.
Until you woke up.
Then a sweet cold hit the back of my neck, and then there was a lot more sun than I'm used to waking up to, and I immediately realized, oh dear God, I've made a mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is that time of year where you're like, oh, it's like 8:14 p.m. outside. It's 4:45.
Yeah. Really messes with you. The first couple of weeks, it really messes with you. I don't think you ever really adjust when time goes back, but
Time traveling you're talking
it's
about.
very
Please
much
go
so,
on.
Yes.
I'm now engaged
yes.
in this conversation.
I bet you are.
And we're off.
I just don't. I think the reason why people have seasonal anxiety is because of the fact that it gets dark early.
Most certainly.
And that really is trippy. You're in the middle of a day, you just finished lunch a couple hours ago, and bam, it's dark outside.
Yeah. I'm sure a lot of people are right in terms of just getting rid of that.
I'm curious, I wonder, do bars and grocery stores, do they purposely stock up on alcohol this time of year? They're like, all right, time change. Instead of the normal 6 cases of Jack, let's order 8.
You ain't going to be outside doing activities.
Right.
You're going to come inside and stay warm with a little liquor.
I
little Jack
I
Daniels.
wonder if this is like opening day for liquor stores across the country. Like when we do the time change, they're just like, oh boy, here we go.
Come in, stay warm.
White Claw, $4.99, everybody.
For the whites.
Definitely.
We had a suggestion while you were gone, Travis. Yale and Gardner, Yale Hollander and Gardner, decided they would be starting a Jazz Talk podcast.
Oh.
We have an excerpt from the first episode.
Okay, I'd love
Jazz
to hear
Talk.
it, yeah.
Chris, boy, that Miles Davis sure was good, wasn't he? Yale. Yep, let's hear a cut from Miles' seminal 1959 album, Kind of Blue. Chris, we don't have licenses to play any copyrighted music. Yale. Oh, yeah, that's right. 58 minutes of virtual silence, occasionally interrupted by the sound of someone sipping coffee and clearing their throat. The end.
Or
That's a good pod.
I
would
could
subscribe
attempt
that.
to play mouth trumpet and recreate my
one.
senior year of high school solo on All Blues
Hmm.
by Miles Davis.
While
Oh,
you
wow.
while you cue that up,
Okay.
Triangle Assassin has some questions. So the alarm he had set on his cell phone didn't go off because his power went out due to a space heater. Got it.
My phone was in charge.
That would answer it.
You see, my phone was charging before bed,
Oh.
and my space heater knocked out
Okay.
my power.
Uh-huh.
I had no juice in my phone.
All Blues is a fitting background for
I
your story.
certainly agree.
Sorry.
It's funny you'd call it a story and not a reason.
I call it a story, call it a reason, doesn't matter.
A tale.
I'm talking
a
to
tale.
Gardner. Yeah, just worried about him.
A hawk tail.
It is.
I like
Feathers.
hawk tails. Hawk
Feathers.
tails with Travis
Many,
Terrell.
many feathers in the
At least
tail.
had the courtesy not to do it during Cocktoberfest.
Mm-hmm.
That was nice of you.
Except for You were close on the last couple of days.
No one has
You
a
kind of fluttered out.
no one has a
Hey,
perfect.
you made an effort. I appreciate that.
No one has a perfect QBR.
Travis,
Sometimes you throw a couple of incomplete passes.
I'm not.
Miss a check down receiver from
So
time to
those
time.
are incomplete passes. Those aren't interceptions.
Those are no. Overthrew a couple of receivers.
Okay.
Missed
not-
a few targets.
I'm not one to cluck things up, but we did have a murder involving a Popeye's chicken sandwich. If you just have 30 seconds to respond, we'll just go back over that. The killer's still at large. Thoughts?
A 20-year-old man was stabbed to death
went
at
over
an
it. We
Oxon
went
Hill
over it.
Popeyes. Do we want
This
to
your
have a
first you're
comment?
seeing? First you're hearing of it?
No, I think I
Oh,
saw it last night.
Will this continue to happen, and are you surprised?
I am surprised that an argument. I feel like it wasn't over chicken. It was just two men arguing, and they were at a chicken place.
It was over a place in line for the chicken sandwich.
Well, that's just silly.
Yeah. I said this would never happen at Chick-fil-A.
They do have very
More
efficient
wholesome
lines.
standards.
It's not their standards. It's just how they get people in and out of there.
Yeah, lots to worry
You don't
about.
have to worry about a line there. You wouldn't brag about how long you wait in line at Chick-fil-A.
Right.
So their system would not allow this to happen.
I do understand as far as. No, I don't. I'm trying to understand like what leads a person to stab someone during an altercation about a place in line.
Yeah.
And not only stab someone, fatally stab someone. Like that just seems like I'm trying to think of the emotional state that the individual has to be in to get that angry. And I think we've all been to a point where, someone's did something to us, cut us off on the highway or said something to us off an on-ramp and, you gotten angry, but I don't think you ever thought to the point of wanting to cause bodily harm
Got
to
knocked
someone.
off a scooter.
Yes, something to that effect. I would imagine, I'm trying to see, what was the name of the suspect?
They don't even have the name.
Okay, so before we judge, let's make sure we have all of our facts straight on who is responsible for this heinous act.
Why are
No.
you smirking? Like
I'm
that?
not smirking
You
because
are.
As
smirking.
someone who's not a big researcher of facts, it's interesting you would choose that we now adhere to these policies.
I think it's important for journalistic quality
Okay.
that we make sure we have all the information before we jump to any particular conclusion.
Yeah, but I'm not a journalist. So.
You're not. No, but we can certainly live by the creed. We can live by that code.
That's not.
Okay.
That's not fun.
I mean, maybe the gentleman was there. He heard about their fine salads. Would that change the story? They were thinking, oh my God, I got to run and get healthy. They have great salads that no one talks about, and yet I'm here on this line for these silly chicken sandwiches. I just want a salad.
What if the guy cutting in line was one of those people that wasn't there for the chicken sandwich, but was there for the biscuits?
Gardner talked about this. We should have a
And your
separate line.
yeah,
That's a good
separate but
point.
equal.
I don't think Popeyes was ready. They had plenty of time to prepare themselves again, and I don't think they were ready again.
You can't stop stupid. You
No,
can't stop.
That's fair, but you also can alleviate certain things. Like they should have been hiring away managers from Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, I don't know how that works. I
To
don't know the free
incorporate
agency
that
market of the
system.
chicken wars.
Coming up with the suitcase full of biscuits.
Yeah, and they also should have had a separate line for non-chicken sandwiches. Now this is just this is speculation on my part,
Sure,
obviously.
sure.
But I'm saying you can alleviate certain things. And there were ways to do that, and instead you focused on the sandwich and not the system.
Yeah.
And the system needed some adjustment as well. And
Yes.
and instead you mocked Chick-fil-A and opened on a Sunday.
They did.
And I get that. I can appreciate a troll.
I think this is the Lord's wrath.
Oh my. This is an interesting call there by Denman.
I don't see that
we-
just because I don't believe in the Lord.
Oh boy.
But
oh my. This show is really
Or a
is
chicken
taking
god.
Oh boy.
maybe I do believe in a chicken
Okay,
god.
thank you. Don't get too far ahead of yourself.
I wonder what he looks like. Or she.
I think this is very unfortunate, but this is capitalism. This is what you two champion on this show every day. Chris Denman, I know
Wait,
for
wait,
a
wait.
fact, is a champion of capitalism. He listens to Rogan at least 6 times a day, so I know he's heard that word a couple
You just
times.
couched in me in
I
that
did.
conversation.
I did.
Right after I had to explain to my mother over the weekend that I was looking at possibly going to a Democratic Socialist meeting. So
I'm sure that went over well in your household.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
fantastic.
boy.
My father was within earshot.
Well, I bet he was, and I
I
think
did
you
that on
knew he was. I was
purpose.
about to say, I think you knew he was within earshot when you
Speaking
said
of
it.
trolling,
What is the term for that, Gardner? I was thinking about that the other night. What is someone who loves to bring about chaos? Is that
Mischief.
an anarchist?
Mischief.
A
Mischief
mischievousness?
you can. I don't.
Mischiosity.
I'm not
Yeah, I like that
quite
word.
an anarchist. More of a facilitator.
A facilitator of what?
But I don't necessarily need to be involved. Is the thing. I
As
just
someone
kind of
who doesn't
plant seeds and.
You're the person who you like to be the kid that touches the first domino.
What does Michael Caine say in that Batman movie?
Some men want to watch the world burn. Oh, okay. So you're the Joker now.
are you proud of that?
Look at him hesitate. I think a little bit of him
I
is
didn't
kind of.
realize that was about the joke.
Yeah. That's who he was referencing.
Well, I guess I am.
Oh my God. Freaking supervillain, man. It makes sense though. If this was an origin story, this would be a pretty good one.
Me? as
Yeah,
the
mild
Joker?
manner producer, radio turned podcaster, scooter aficionado. Then you're knocked off your scooter, and then you turn into, what was the word, Chris? Incel?
No.
Oh.
Involuntary celibate?
Yeah. Yeah. Is that what it meant?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I need to start learning the words that come out of my mouth.
Stop using
Yeah,
that
Yeah, I
word.
should start using
Have
words.
you used it in conversation?
I-
and be
I
like,
don't-
I know what
I-
this means.
I
No,
don't know. Like I said, I thought it was the Pentium processor.
No, the what processor?
The Pentium processor.
Okay, that was
the Pentium.
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 It's a Pentium.
The technology in the computer board.
Incel 3, Incel 5,
Yes,
Incel 7.
that's the one I had in my Dell. My Dell had an Incel
Which one?
2.
2. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was 2 of them, I think.
Oh, no, that's not how
That's
that
not how it works.
No.
Okay. I'm no
wow.
scientist.
If you
No mathemologist either.
if you're mathemologizing in the Hill area this Thursday, we've got comedy kicking off around 8:30 at Gastro Pit. That's right, they've got food specials as well. Stick around. 10 o'clock's when happy hour starts for food. Wonderful specials and very funny comedians. Starting at 8:30, we'll have Schlafly, Jack Daniels specials. It'll be a good time. Stop by 4916 Shaw if you're familiar with Gaslight. We've done some live podcasts before. Same building, same setup. Gastro Pit. A few people were saying, "Oh, Gastro Pit's kind of small." Well, they moved. They're in a building at 4916 Shaw. Come by, see some great comics, and hang out this Thursday, 8:30 in South City on the Hill. That's right.
Gardner, did you you wouldn't happen to have my blackface PSA on standby, would you? If not, no biggie.
I might be able to grab it here.
Nevertheless,
Just if you give me a second.
that's
here.
all. This gives me plenty of time to set the story up, Chris.
Please.
Unfortunately, yesterday we competed in Great American Race, where
Why,
for-
unfortunately?
Well, for systematic racism reasons, Chris was able to pull out an early lead in the month for Great American Race. Very good story, I have to admit. You did very well. You've done very well, actually, over the last couple of months, pointing
thank
out
you.
something. I'm wondering if you somehow have a black person on the inside feeding you a lot of this information. Very likely. I've seen you with a lot of black clients lately, so that's not too far-fetched.
I don't have it.
Okay, do not worry about it. But I last week, I wanted to be very clear to all of our listeners and those who take the time to maybe share our lovely content. I wanted to put out a PSA about blackface because it's near and dear to me. It's something I work on 12 months out of the year.
Yeah.
It's a foundation that I started actually here in
Like
the
you
same
practice
very
on
room.
dolls?
Well,
Like with shoe polish?
well, I how to wipe it off your face.
Oh, okay.
Because people like to put blackface on their dolls, and I'm like, no, don't do that. And then of course people put blackface on their own faces, and I'm definitely like, don't do that. But people do it every year during Halloween because they think black people are costumes, not real human beings. Surprise, surprise. And so I put out a nice, calm, civil PSA to let everybody know, please respect my race. No to blackface.
All right,
It was a
let's
whole
try
thing.
That again. Do it
Okay.
again. Do it again.
Respect my race. No to blackface. Oh, you want to
Good.
do it with me, Chris? I want you to point to the camera.
Respect his race. No to blackface.
There we go.
Now you're going to try and use that against me right now.
I
aren't
am,
you?
absolutely. I'm going to find a way to.
All we do is just cut where he goes no to blackface and points at you.
Or we just bleep out no. We go blackface.
Yeah.
Blackface. And
the
we'll make it
hell's
one of
going
those
on
bounce
this show?
photos. Yeah. But the fact
Rude.
is that apparently someone didn't take the time to listen, Gardner. An individual did not take the time to listen.
I have
and
a
a
video.
person who I did not anticipate being the one violating my hashtag. Respect my race. What is it, Chris?
No to blackface.
Thank you. Story, Gardner.
You just want the video of.
Oh, you got a video? Oh, yeah, let's see this video. Video, Gardner.
There's a video of a teacher
Oh, boy.
who is white,
Mm.
who on Halloween,
Mm-hmm.
Neil Brennan warned us.
yeah, who has now been suspended.
Oh, boy.
Okay.
He dressed up on Halloween and is now suspended from his position.
Okay.
And we will show you the video evidence of why.
Okay, let's see what happened here with this young man.
Okay, here you go.
Opportunities limitless, possibilities senseless. What will you do? Millions of people, not enough to eat. What will we do? With AI, Microsoft technology, the future is up to you. You can do it. With AI, the future will blow your mind.
Oh, no.
That was in class?
Oh, no.
He was Common, the rapper.
No, no.
Common's not even dark.
Oh, he is not.
Oh,
Oh, no.
damn it, white people.
I find this very difficult. Look, I
this
know,
real?
I know that everyone's not on the Twitter or the Facebook. I know everyone doesn't always read the news. Not everyone picks up a paper. I get that, but I feel like as a teacher, you have some context as to what's
you
going
don't wanna,
on in the media.
You know that if you do something dumb in class, it's possible your kids could be filming and it could end up on Twitter or something.
Well, it's
right?
also possible that you should know as a teacher, as an educator, that you know why blackface is awful. Like that's what I'm getting to. It's not a matter of kids having the video camera inside the classroom and filming it. It's that a teacher doesn't know about blackface. That's disturbing. And not only should he have already been educated because of its history, but just even the simple fact that it's always in the media. Honest to God, you don't have to go to the internet to know that blackface is bad. But every time I go to the internet, I see stories telling me why blackface is bad.
You did blackface and then you rapped and you're not even good at rapping.
And then you did Common, who you don't even need blackface for.
I was going to say, you can just kind of put on a bald.
Yes, you didn't even need the blackface. It's Common. He's not even darker than Chris. It's like you want to be stupid. It's like that's the new thing. What is happening in your community?
whoa,
Yeah. That's right. That's just completely stupid. You're an educator. What are y'all doing? What is happening with our teachers? If they're not sleeping with their students, they're just being stupid.
You had trouble saying
I
that.
did.
Yeah.
Stupid words. If I had a better teacher, I wouldn't be sounding so stupid.
Some incel rather than some incel.
That's right. And it's an insult to my community. Respect my race. Gardner,
No blackface.
thank you.
Or pale face.
Well, that's also,
No?
it's kind of cold outside.
All right.
Opportunities
But what
limitless,
about white
possibilities senseless. He was doing the actual rap for the Microsoft commercial. I thought that was funny.
Why would you?
And there's a photo of Common, and as you can tell, just look how light-skinned Common is, and as much. And then here's the other thing I truly, and this is logistically speaking, that seems like that takes a long time. Not at any point, like at minute 22, where you're getting behind your ears, you go, man, this is a lot for a costume.
Who did that? Justin Trudeau? Justin Trudeau, was that his makeup artist?
The freaking Prime Minister of Canada, we just had a whole story on it last month. Like, how as an educator do you not know that's like he should be fired
Or what
just
if-
for not being.
What if you knew and you said to yourself, I'm the guy that can bridge this gap? You
With some
fucking
brown
fool.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
No, you're not. If you're saying that to yourself and you're white, let me give you a piece of advice. You're not. You're not that person. Don't do it. Just like slide in and slow pitch softball. Don't do it.
The district says the staffers simply should have known better. Of course.
Yeah. I want to know if they did know. I want to know the thought process now.
And this is in the San Jose area. So again, a very progressive city, very progressive state. So I'm trying to put up, I'm just trying to understand how, like, because we can have the conversations all we want. We can talk about dialogue and having civil interactions in regards to race relations in this country. But if you're going to be blatantly stupid about just what's going on in the news as an educator, we're not talking some disc jockey. We're not talking you're talking about someone who's supposed to be in the know. That is your job, to know these things. And I think, Chris, I don't mean to put this on your shoulders, but
You're
white
already-
America has failed you. And I'm sorry, but you've been disqualified from Great American Race this
What?
month. I have decided to. I know I don't usually do this,
You don't
but
get to
I'm hitting the
decide.
key. I have decided that
You don't
Travis.
get to
I
decide.
don't get to make that decision.
No,
None
that's
at all.
my
I don't get to
decision.
have a say in
I-
that at all.
no,
Okay.
there's-
All right. Can I?
You get 10 seconds to make your argument.
You whites, respect my race. No to blackface.
That's not an argument.
Okay, well,
That's
I
a
feel
PSA.
like that's a point.
Yeah, but it's not necessarily made. You wasted your time and our time
Oh, okay, I apologize.
to do. Actually, I shouldn't say that because you're reinforcing your point. Is what you should be saying.
Thank you. That's all I'm saying.
But it's still, he is not disqualified. I removed points from him already, and we're not even playing.
okay, that's fair.
You saw that happen on the scoreboard.
Okay, that's fair.
I at least made that effort.
How did that happen as a teacher? Like, that's the thing. I think as an educator, like, I'm sorry, bro. And I know we're like, no, cancel culture. You don't need to be teaching. It's very clear you don't pay
I want to
attention.
know what you thought the lesson was in all of this. What were you teaching or attempting to teach? Because I don't understand. Much like you, I don't understand.
There was no.
So I would like to know more, just
It
because
wa-
I'm trying to understand. this.
It's what we've been saying on this show the last few weeks. A word that I've been using, a phrase that I've been using: unforced errors. Unforced errors, things that can easily be avoided by just doing your fucking job. And this teacher, all he had to do was dress up as Mr. Feeney from Boy Meets World, and he should have just taught a damn lesson, and he would still have his job, keep it freaking moving. But no, you who have no idea what's going on in the culture, no idea about what's going on with your black students, decided because you saw a funny commercial that's been on the air for the last 2 damn years that you're going to put on blackface for a light-skinned rapper.
For that commercial?
For
too?
them, that commercial.
I'm not doing it for that commercial.
The lesson was how to get fired from a school district in one song or less.
Yeah, that's true.
Triangle Assassin.
It is, and here's the thing: it isn't even as if you were to list the 50 issues that are bothering African Americans, blackface is like 48. So it's not even a major priority. It's just one of those things. Like, it should be understood that, hey, don't dress up like, actual.
Like, if you can't even do this and stick to these parameters, how are we supposed to talk about more serious?
And there he is.
I'm not saying not serious because we know what people that do this likely are doing,
Right.
but that ones that are more impactful on
Right.
a daily basis
Right.
to have those discussions. How do you do that if you can't even?
How can and that is the point. You're right. How can you how can you have a
How
conversation?
can you have credibility or take it seriously if you can't take anything like
And
that?
then how can you trust and how can you expect even black and brown parents to trust educators if you're not taking the time to just be up on the normal things that you shouldn't do, that will come across as racist? I think, to your point, Gardner, like,
Someone
you
asked
can't have
me
a
the other
conversation.
day about blackface and like, well, what's wrong with it? I go, we should read about it.
Read about it.
And they go, well, can you? I go, no.
Thank you, Gardner.
I said, I'm not doing this. Go educate yourself.
Yes.
Do it yourself.
Yes.
I'm not here to do that for
Because
you.
what they'll do
'Cause I've
is-
taken the time to do it myself.
Right.
Put the in, and I would like people to know that because I would at least like people to know that I've put in an effort to educate myself. go do that for you. Because if you're this lazy, then just imagine what your arguments, what
There
you're
it is.
trying to do
Exactly.
is try to have a lazy argument.
Yes.
And I'm not going to appease your laziness.
There it is. There it is. Because they're just going to take your point of view of what you know about blackface, and then they're going to go, well, there goes Gardner and his liberal bent.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that. I'll tell people to go F off for that.
Exactly. And and like I said, look, celebrities have done it. Apparently, a prime minister has done it. Several apparently American politicians on both sides of the aisle have done it. So I just it's again not an issue that
Justin
African
Trudeau
America
broke Sam Lyon's heart live on the air. We
live on
watched
the
it
air.
happen.
And Trudeau got, man, you know how difficult it is to get inside your fingers? Like, I didn't even know I had black like that inside my fingers. For Trudeau to be that detailed.
He did his knees.
He did his knees. You know, I don't even put that much lotion on my knees. How did he get paint on his knees?
And I think he might have done a little ashy, too.
I think he
I was
did a
like,
little-
you did ashy?
He had the ash. It's kind of hard to get around to the conversation about systematic racism inside of the criminal justice system when people can't understand why blackface is bad. We have a long, 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 long way to go.
There's this cute kid, an ex-girlfriend of mine used to teach him. He was like 6. And he was trying to, he had like a few behavior things, but they were trying to
Right.
bring him along. He was nice. He was just very cute at times. But he would describe his skin when it was dry as dashy, not ashy.
nice.
And I was like, kid, I like you. Just the fact that he said it like that. The skin's dashy. And I'm like, well, no, that's not the word, but you know what? You keep using it because I think you're cute when you say that.
I'm dashing, Daddy.
I'm dashy.
Well, if we're going to continue shouting about things, we might as well do it in all caps.
Uh-huh.
Your boy Zuckerberg has made a monumental move
Oh, boy.
for Facebook as they unveil
Facebook!
their new,
Wait, that's the new,
they will now be known as all caps Facebook.
like, that's the new logo?
Facebook!
That is, wait.
Yep.
Excuse me, what?
Facebook has made the bold move to capitalize all their letters as of yesterday.
Facebook rebrands as calls for government-led breakup continues. The timing of the move is notable because the company faces calls from politicians and consumer advocates for the government to break it up into various pieces. And so they're going with, they put a bunch of black people in front of their, okay. It's always the good move to go, and then go to uppercase letters in Facebook. Facebook introduced a new brand Monday. Facebook!
Yeah, hold on, let me do it again.
Okay.
There we go. Facebook!
Yep.
The company announced in a blog post that the new brand, which retains the name of the social network, would have a new logo to better indicate all the various products and services it now offers, including Instagram and WhatsApp. Today, we're updating our company branding to be clear about the products that come from Facebook. We're introducing a new company logo and further distinguishing the Facebook company from the Facebook app, which will keep its own branding. What? That doesn't... What?
Senator, we run ads.
Okay.
I see.
I see.
I
see.
Orrin Hatch, I miss you.
we're at this crossroads with technology and society, and I feel like it's all a cartoon. Like, I feel like the serious conversations we need to be having about technology and its effects on our day-to-day life, especially social media, we're not having the right conversations. And here is Facebook doing what Facebook does best, distracting you with pretty colors and fonts
And caps.
which is a smart play because Facebook, if there's
It looks
anybody
like-
who knows this current generation, it's Facebook. Like, is there a company that knows this generation better than Facebook? Is there any other company?
They're all
Outside
over
maybe
it.
Target. Target's good. Target, you get
is
into
it?
Target, you end up
They're good
spending.
at targeting.
You go, yeah, they're very good at that. You should walk up in Target. I'm here just to get some bubble gum. You walk out with 14 pairs of shoes.
What?
Has it happened to me? Maybe. I don't want to speak on it anymore. Fact of the matter is, you got some more New Balance?
Yep, I had a new pair on yesterday
Oh,
and my other
boy.
new pair today.
Man, talk about a celebration. Was that your October present? Was that like left under
To myself.
the burning tea?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's not the burning.
I thought it was a
Burning
burning tea. I thought, isn't that what you have? Like, what you
Oh.
celebrate for
No.
October? Okay.
That's just rude.
My
is.
knee popped when I lifted my leg up.
I heard a little pop.
Did
I was
you
like,
hear
I
that?
was like, did he hit the desk?
Yeah, no.
Oh, that was bone on bone.
That was my knee
Ooh. The
hurts
brand
a little
change
bit.
is a way to better communicate our ownership structure to the people.
Is it?
And business who use our services to connect, share, build
Now
community.
they're just using words.
Now that's what I'm saying. Facebook is just saying stuff.
Yeah.
They're not doing it. What is happening right now? This is
the font they use, this thing right here, it looks like all the other fonts are boycotting, and this is what they were left with.
It's like they put makeup on Skynet. That's what they did. They're trying to put makeup on Skynet right now.
They're
and
not
this-
even saying anything.
It's not even saying.
Those
Listen
are-
to this.
You're right. Those are just
No,
words.
listen to this. This is a real sentence from a major international company. This brand change is a way to better communicate our ownership structure, because communicating your ownership structure to the people and businesses is what we look for, who use our services to connect, share, build community, and grow their audience. Those are just things.
Yeah, those don't even go
That
together.
doesn't even work.
Who the hell wrote that?
This is good. Oh my goodness.
Just use some words like this, get them in there somehow, and then this is a statement.
Good God, man. They're not even trying at this point.
Yeah, I mean, those don't even go hand in hand necessarily.
Good God. I don't, it's almost, it's similar to the Kaepernick situation. You know how,
Like
people
Twitter-
started telling on themselves, just like, hey, if you just sit down and relax, let this shit die down, Facebook, people will stop talking about breaking up the tech companies. But every time you look up, Facebook is doing something to stay in the news so people can talk about
And
breaking
then
up the
Josh
tech companies.
Hawley's going to go after them, and the Candy Crush Crime Syndicate that he's after.
It's hilarious. It's like Warren said break up the tech companies, and all these tech companies are overreacting. She's not even the nominee yet. And they're freaking out so much so where they're making the case for Elizabeth Warren.
And Twitter, Jack Dorsey comes out and says they're not doing political ads anymore. Like, you can have your own speech as whatever political side you're on, I guess, but obviously there are restrictions there still.
Right.
But they're not going to have political ads themselves on Twitter.
Right.
So Facebook's response to that is, Facebook!
That's what I'm saying. So if you're going to, I don't understand the people, I feel like, and I could be wrong, but there are a ton of very, very intelligent, 10 times smarter than I will probably ever dream to be people who probably work for Facebook. So there has to have been someone who looked at the PR marketing team like, y'all know we're going to get fucked up in these streets, right? Y'all know y'all
Yes,
about to
you would
like set
think,
it up.
right?
You would think someone's in there saying, hey, man, I know this is not my department, but this is the generation just saw 2 documentaries on Fire Festival, so they're not stupid. So we're going to kind of need something a little bit more in depth than just, as Gardner pointed out, Facebook. Like, I'm just thinking even from the font standpoint, that's not even, there are better fonts on Canva.
They should have used an exclamation point at the end.
I think that would have really drove it
We are
home.
live.
The tagline should literally have been, Senator, we sell ads.
Perfect.
I think everybody
That's what
gets
they
it.
should have done.
All right.
Senator, we run
solved it.
ads.
They're
Thank you, Mark.
gonna get their ass kicked, man. They are just throwing red meat to the freaking progressive base with this stupid ass shit.
I see.
There were literally people who were sitting on the sidelines when it came to breaking up the tech companies, but this is an insult.
Is it?
That statement was. But then again, Facebook again knows our society better than we know ourselves. So maybe they're just like,
how
you idiots like fonts and
sadly-
color.
You're
You'll
going to
shut
put a
up.
statement out like that one day, I get the feeling. You're going to take notes from that one.
There are going to be a
But
lot.
this
of
doesn't make sense, Mr. Terrell.
I said a
doesn't
statement.
have
It
to.
does. Are there words?
Statement does, yeah.
Was there
Statement is
subject-verb
simply
agreements?
words.
What's as a subject and a predicate? Well, then I think I answered your
Yeah.
question,
Yeah.
sir.
We've got this worked out.
Yesterday, World Series champions Washington Nationals visited the White House.
Shout out to Sean Doolittle for not showing up.
Sean Doolittle didn't show up. Future Cardinal Anthony Rendon did not show up, as well as a few other
Future
players.
Angel or Padre.
I don't know, how did Howie Kendrick show up, but Michael Taylor didn't. I was expecting that to be reversed. I thought Michael Taylor would show up and Howie Kendrick sit one out. But Michael Taylor didn't show. But the president seemed to have a good time with the World Series champions as Trump hugs Nats catcher Kurt Suzuki for wearing a MAGA hat to the White House. Now, I know apparently, not even on Twitter, and I can only imagine
Looks like
Suzuki.
Trump's done this before.
Oh my God! Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait. Is that Trump's hands?
Oh.
Trump's hands is what? Wait, is that for real? Is that not like photoshopped? Is it?
No, those are his.
Those are
tiny
Trump's hands
Yeah.
around
Covering
Kurt Suzuki's chest,
Covering
and
his
his
pectorals.
and covering his titties.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Look at Dave Martinez. He's like, you damn right I'm gonna smile. Do you see my last name? I'm Dave Martinez. I'm standing next to
Trying
Trump.
to kick me out of here.
But I understand why Kurt Suzuki. Now, I haven't been on Twitter, so I don't know what Twitter has said about this moment for Kurt Suzuki. But his last name is Suzuki, and again, like Dave Martinez, you got to play the game. You're already there. You're not gonna have a last. You got a foreign last name.
Yeah, you don't have to put the hat on though.
Nah, you definitely didn't have to do that. But
Respect I hear respect the office from people, but then you don't have to make it political. Then what are you doing with the hat? Like you can do whatever you want. That's fine, Kurt. But if people are going to come at you for, appeasing a lousy rat bastard motherfucker,
there it is.
You should expect the blowback you're going to get.
That is very true.
That's all.
So are you going to burn your Suzuki jersey?
Burn it to the ground, my friend. Kurt Suzuki, look, I'm going to tell you,
Oh boy.
like Gardner told LeBron James, get your facts right. If you're going to meddle in American business, Kurt Suzuki, get your facts right. All right? I look, next time just sit on the sideline. All right, with your Suzuki ass. Nobody even buys Suzukis anymore. Now tell your family your cars suck. I don't think Suzuki's. He's probably not.
That's racist.
That's that racist.
You know he's Hawaiian.
And that's an example of being racist as hell. I was just showing everybody what it looks like. That's specific. I was just showing everybody that it's nobody. Travis, you racist as hell. Stay woke.
So you thought
I'm not gonna lie.
you thought he owned the Japanese motor company.
I thought his family may have.
The worst.
May have.
You just give that blackface speech.
I
You
did.
just lose your credibility.
I just kind of tossed it out the window there. I set it on fire
Damn
on the
it,
way out
Travis.
the window as well. I didn't. I apologize to the Suzuki family. I apologize to his Hawaiian natives of Hawaii.
Warren and Kathleen Suzuki.
I
His
would like
parents.
Warren, Kathleen. I would like to apologize.
Fourth generation Japanese American, raised in Maui and graduated from Baldwin High School. Yeah.
You can see how last names can confuse me. And I have to say, I'm not saying that the environment that I work in every day is racist, but it's tinged with racism.
What?
And so it may have seeped into my coffee and my drinks.
Your black coffee?
And I apologize to the Suzuki family and to the Suzuki brand. I probably should see who actually owns that car company next time.
Marcus has your back in the comments. Says he was with you. He's laughing.
Nice.
Marcus Boss.
I
Sulardians.
apologize. Suzuki, I mean, you telling me
Marcus
you
says
knew?
Marcus said he's not a POC anymore. He's with Kanye.
Oh, no. Marcus, what happened?
No. Saying Suzuki's not.
Oh, whew. But Suzuki got to put like a gospel album out now. We gonna wear the red hat. It's like an invisible wall.
Trump would love an invisible wall. You
It'd
think
be
he's,
beautiful if you could see it.
he's going to pivot to that at some point when he can't get it all done? It's an invisible wall.
It's an invisible wall.
Kanye talked about it. Kanye and I built this wall ourselves. It's invisible.
We talked about your boy yesterday, and Ms. Vidal.
Jorge Masvidal.
Ms.
there it is.
Vidal Sassoon.
George Masvidal, because when you are a friend of the president, you can't go around calling yourself Jorge.
He didn't say he was a friend. He just said he was a bad mother.
I thought him and Trump was like boys.
Cuban people, you can't just assume.
Okay.
But
Well, he did call Trump. He said Trump was a bad MFer.
said no matter how you feel about him, he's a bad MFer.
I don't know what that means. But the fact of the matter
It
is,
makes
Trump.
it sound like he's tough, though. Which he's not.
Not.
He's one of the weakest people I've ever seen.
Now, did you watch the fight? Now, I didn't get a chance to see the crowd
I
reaction.
saw highlights and stuff. Oh, at the UFC event.
Yeah, now people
The
report
the
this
clip
is
I
mixed.
saw was not booing because I was sitting there watching it and I was like, that's not booze. But then there was another thing that's like, it's just like any.
That's pretty mixed in those videos.
There's some booze. Yeah, it just depends on where you're at.
I think the mixed reaction is appropriate.
For a UFC crowd, that's kind of what I would have anticipated.
Well, I mean, Dana White and him are sitting. I mean, like he is like Dana White and him are boys.
No, absolutely. But I think the UFC reaction makes sense. If you were to take a poll, I think of UFC fans, I think it would probably sound like
It was
that.
in New York too. Madison Square Garden, Trav.
Yeah. A lot of people in Staten Island voted for Trump. A lot of people in
Your
Staten
home
Island.
city.
My home city. Trust me, people broke down the demographics. They go blue, 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 red, red, red.
I'll have to
And that
trust
was-
you
that
since
was-
you're from there.
That was a Staten Island.
You are a
area.
New Yorker.
I'm a New Yorker. So eventful weekend for the Trump, another eventful week for him and the country, and another eventful weekend for, I'm sure, apologies for people making racist comments. I apologize again to the Suzuki family. I went too far. I again thought that you may have owned a car company.
Man, that is like a perfect example of racism.
That is perfect,
the-
it's like to the T.
Yeah.
But see
Good
what I
job
did there?
providing the example.
Exactly. I'm showing an example what not to be, what not to be, and that's important for our listeners.
Now, if I showed an example of
Yeah,
what
that
not to
probably
be,
would not.
it probably
have
would
been-
not go over
That
well.
would not be a great move.
Yeah. And so I won't.
Okay, fair enough.
There you go. Anything
Chris.
before we get out of here?
Got shout outs?
Big shout out to Flyover Comedy Festival. They're getting a lot of great coverage, and we will be there this Thursday at Atomic Cowboy. Come check us out. It's the roast show. Target practice, putting some finishing touches on it today. We're excited to be there. We'll have lots of fun, and it's an hour. Come out, have some fun. We've got 3 different comedy shows Thursday, so whether you want to be in the Grove, if you want to be over on the Hill or Grand Center, we got you covered. Come to all 3. I don't care. I'd love to see you.
Nice.
How about you?
I want to shout out electricity and my underestimation of it. And I would like to thank Thomas Edison and that other dude who's in that movie with Benedict Cumberbatch. It was Edison and Tesla.
Nikola Tesla?
Yeah, I want to thank him because if it wasn't for the white privilege, I would not enjoy this lovely
Well, the
electricity.
government stole all his paperwork that he had on some of his electrical experiments. Tesla might have changed the world even quicker than it has.
So shout out to their families. Appreciate the.
And the Suzuki family. How about you, Gardner?
Shout out to Forest Park Forever
Oh,
for
boy.
quote tweeting me. After they revealed yesterday they're spending some money to add some more upgrades to Forest Park.
Nice.
The waterways will be all connected here at some point very soon.
Okay, that's kind of dope. I kind of like that.
And I said the crown jewel of St. Louis continues to get better. It's more important to the city than any sports team. And they said all the fields.
And
With a
you would be
little-
correct.
With a little gif.
I do enjoy me some Forest Park, especially this time of year.
Now, I did have some people reacting to me when I said that. Apparently, they're part of my scooter faction because they're
nice.
like, except for the authoritarian scooter limitations, I concur. And another person said, people should be free to scoot at maximum speeds of 19 miles per hour with impunity. And I'm like, okay, yeah. So I got them on my side, too.
But this is a great opportunity for you to now use the brand that you use for your scooter to show, hey, boys, you can keep using those government-issued scooters, or you can get with the big boys and go as fast as you want.
Let's be free.
I love it.
Be free together. Join the River to Pear Scooter Club.
Love it.
Chris, I want to thank a fine sponsor, Tech Electronics. They do amazing work here.
Just like I told everybody in the first hour.
Well, Chris, sometimes you got to remind them of their
I appreciate
greatness.
it. I appreciate
Tech
it.
Electronics, if you're trying to do something for your own tech needs, you need to hit Tech Electronics in the Google box. Go to that website, probably the first one that pops up, click on it, and read it. That's Tech Electronics today.
That'll do it for the show today. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Come to our shows. We got 3 big shows this Thursday. Fly over, get tickets online. Come out, have some fun. It's going to be a packed house. And we're at Atomic Cowboy in the lovely, lovely venue that sits in the Grove. So for Travis, for Gardner, for everybody else, back tomorrow live at 8 a.m. See you then. Peace.